Me, daughter. If I ever met Eddie Vedder, I'd say, "Hey, daughter," in hopes that he would go, "Don't call me daughter," or however he sings. I think that'd be funny, but I'm a dad, so I guess that's a dad joke. But I mean, come on, you see Eddie Vedder walking down the street, you're not gonna go, "Hey, daughter," and then he goes, "Don't call me daughter. I told you, I'm Eddie and I'm here to sing to you." I'm Rob. And this is a live stream. It's a holiday here in Massachusetts, Massachusetts. The holiday in Massachusetts, which I didn't see. Here's how Americans live in a bubble. Here's how people live in a bubble. You grow up somewhere your whole life, so you think, oh, exactly what happens where I live is everywhere. And you don't understand that, oh shit, most of the country does not celebrate Patriots Day. We have a holiday here, Patriots Day. And most of the country doesn't celebrate. And when I moved to Southern California, and it was Patriots Day, I was like, Patriots Day, we get the day off. And they were like, what? You got what? Good afternoon, Kevin. And you have these moments, if you get outside of your bubble, where you learn, I lived in a bubble. I was bubble boy, living in a bubble. And a lot of Americans don't have those moments. A lot of Americans that are townies here in Massachusetts, if you grow up and live in the same town your whole life, we call you a townie. It might be something different where you're from, but we all have those people. I mean, Jesus, there was a whole 1980s genre of movies of people that grew up in the same town. Well, that kind of leaked into the 90s. People these anxious teens just want to get out of this town. John Hughes movies, I think, would all be categorized as that. And I think that's a big disservice to Americans, thinking that what we do here is worldwide. So yeah, so today's Patriots Day, and I figured on a Patriots Day, why don't we also talk about Paul Revere's Midnight Ride. On Saturday, it was the 250th anniversary of Paul Revere's Midnight Ride. Great Beastie Boys song. Hello, brother. Good morning. Good morning to you, and a very day to you as well. We're going to talk about your taxes. I'm going to just say a bunch of stuff, and depending on where you rest, what side of the fence you rest on, this might upset you. Okay? I'm Rob. Hit subscribe. I do a live stream every single weekday. I talk about news, commentary. I call it newsmentary. Very clever. YouTube has yet to make the newsmentary genre. I'm subbed. Awesome. Why barely any views? I don't know. Can you write YouTube and tell them, what the fuck is up, man? Because YouTube puts baby in a corner. I'm baby, and YouTube puts baby in a corner. And listen, real quick note, if you're a creator here on YouTube and you listen to one of them blog podcast channels that interview Mr. Beast, and they tell you, oh, if your video's not getting views or clicks, you're just not good enough. Bullshit. If you're not doing what Mr. Beast is doing, YouTube doesn't want to recommend you to anyone. Okay? And no one should be doing Mr. Beast stuff, because Mr. Beast just takes all his ideas from smaller YouTubers or Netflix and makes them with $1 million and doesn't even pay people or treat them well. So yeah. Hey, what's up, Alyssa? How's your recovery? How's your recovery going? My apologies. So if you're new here, if you're not already subbed, please sub. Apparently, most of my watchers are not subbed. Please hit the subscribe button. It is free for you to do. I promise I'll never charge you for hitting subscribe. And I'm also not a wild asshat, and I would never promise you a cookie like Mr. Beast does. I'm very realistic. I say this. I go live every weekday. I bring you news, commentary. Today we're going to talk about Paul Revere's Midnight Ride. Did you learn it? Are they still teaching that in school? They should be. Paul Revere. 1 if by land, 2 if by sea. He lit the candles in the Old North Church. You can go visit it down in Boston if you'd like. I've been there many times. I love that church. It's very old and very small. Were people smaller back then? You can go to Paul Revere's house. Or was it Sam Adams' house? No, Paul Revere, because Revere was a silversmith, and you can go to Paul Revere's house. And he rode from Boston to Lexington, and then Israel something. Some other dude who doesn't get any credit. You can look it up. I should have looked up his name. But Israel rode the rest of the way to alert everybody the British were coming. The British are coming. And I just want to point out, because our taxes should be used to pay for our health care. Other countries have figured this out. We don't need to figure out the system. We just need to implement it. And that is going to take all of us together, coming together and say, we want our taxes being used on our healthcare. We don't want to work jobs where they take out most of the money for your health insurance, and then we get denied when we need to use that health insurance. We can collectively stand together and say, no more government. F you, you're tyrannical. We want a redress of grievances. And I'm not talking left or right. If you're a Democrat or Republican, take the mask off, you sheep, okay? Because what I'm telling you is this is not Democratic or Republic. This is neither nor. I am neither, okay? We are for the people and by the people. And that means our money that you just paid in taxes, and your taxes are about to go up, we need that to be taken care of us, to have a healthier country. Our life expectancy rate is plummeting. Oh, I wish I could read that. I don't know if that's Chinese or what, but hello? Hit subscribe. If you are in China, my deepest fucking apologies. I'm so sorry that the leadership in this country is wildly out of control. My respect to the Chinese people, my respect to the people across the world, and I apologize for this government. In fact, we are in the belly of the beast, and we need to have some kind of new revolution. What? Oh, good God. All right, so I also linked down in the description. I linked down in the description the actual Declaration of Independence, the wording, not the parchment paper with the quill leaf pen that it was written on, but I linked the words, what was written in the Declaration of Independence, because I think too many people here on Patriots Day in Massachusetts, it's Patriots Day. It's the day we celebrate Mark Wahlberg's movie. But I figured people needed a refresher on the Declaration of Independence, because when Paul Revere did his ride 250 years ago this past Saturday, and he rode and said, the British are coming, we are at war, a revolutionary war is on hand, and there were people who were loyal to the crown in America, in the colonies. We're in America yet. What's up, Curtis? We're talking about the Declaration of Independence, because it was Paul Revere's midnight ride this past Saturday, 250-year anniversary. And I think people forget, in our declaration to be independent, an independent country, we talked about that King George III was imposing taxes without our consent. No taxation without representation. He deprived us the benefit of trial by jury. He deprived us of a due process. King George III cut off our trade with the world. This was the colony's complaints. And this is all listed in the Declaration of Independence down below. Link down below. I highly encourage you to read the entire Declaration of Independence. And King George III was transporting us beyond the seas to be tried for pretend offenses. This is all things Trump's doing right now. He's cut off our trade with the world. He's going to raise our taxes. That's why he had Doge and Elon go in there. By the way, $1 billion is missing. It's unaccounted for. It was there and now it's gone. Watchdogs are saying that $1 billion is gone. I'm guessing Doge had something to do with it. But this is all stuff that we did not. Elon is not a representative of any American. He's unelected. He's an illegal immigrant from South Africa. And we have gone to war for much less. So how are people thinking they're patriotic by allowing Donald to proclaim himself king, impose taxes on us without our consent, deprive us of trial by jury, due process, transport us beyond seas? He's transporting Americans beyond seas and saying he will transport homegrown Americans beyond seas for pretend defenses. I don't know, saying graffitiing a Tesla is some domestic terrorism. And Donald has cut off trade with the world. This is all in the Declaration of Independence, and 250 years after Paul Revere's Midnight Ride, people are cheering on a tyrant doing the same thing. Grasshopper, shut up. Robert Brindley, nice to see you. Sorry, I'm not reading something. He cute. If he'd been on that plane, I don't understand what that is. Thank you for stopping by. Hit subscribe and notification bell. But people, do you believe that you should have to have a job to have access to healthcare? Do you believe that our taxes should be helping our communities, that our taxes should be ensuring the most vulnerable kids, old people, adults, whether they work or not? Our taxes should be funding our health so our life expectancy isn't dropping, isn't declining. Do you believe that? Because Donald Trump, Elon Musk, they don't believe that. They don't think you should have health care. They don't even have a plan. They're gutting Medicaid, Medicare. They're taking our taxes from us and spending it on whatever they deem necessary. No representation by us. And I have this crazy radical thought that we pay taxes, we should get something for that. Our government should provide us services. Many, many countries across the world provide or believe healthcare is a human right. Here in America, our health, our life is declining. Our healthcare is worse even though we pay more. And we need to all get on the same page. Get out of the red-blue fucking Super Bowl of politics mindset. This is not a Super Bowl, folks. Every 4 years, if they're talking about gas prices or the price of eggs, you're fighting the wrong battle. The real battle is the elites. Donald Trump is a coastal elite, a rich Nepo baby from New York who had a gold toilet. Elon Musk, an illegal immigrant coastal elite from South Africa. The whole country is the coast. These are Nepo babies that have private doctors, probably hospital wings in their houses. They don't even worry about co-pays or anything. Their co-pays to have a doctor on retainer is probably $40,000, $50,000 a year. Like Michael Jackson. Hey, what's up, CJ? Michael Jackson had basically a hospital wing where he slept, getting administered propofol. Robin Williams called it the milk of amnesia. Robin Williams, God rest his soul. We miss him so much. But we need people speaking out. We need people saying, enough is enough. What are you doing with our taxes? We want health care for our taxes. We don't want to have to pay and pay and pay every paycheck, every month, just to have access to health care. We don't want to have to pay co-pays. We don't want to have to go into medical debt if something happens. We can decide this. We can come together and say, we want our taxes to fund our health care. Get rid of CEOs for health insurance. The rest of the world looks at us and thinks we're nuts. We can do this, folks. And I hearken back to Paul Revere's Midnight Ride. 250 years ago this Saturday, Paul Revere rode to alert people. War is here. The British are here. Well, he said they're coming, but you get my point. And that inspired the Beastie Boys to write a great tune. And that should inspire us to say we want our taxes to make us healthy again. Well, our taxes never made us healthy, but we want our taxes to be used for our health. We want to see something back. We don't want to have to work and have money, have to try to figure into our rent or our mortgage or to our egg allotment. How much eggs are people buying that they were worried about egg? That is the wrong battle, folks. The battle is our standard of living in America has plummeted. Nobody can buy a home anymore. Rich people are buying up all the assets. They're avoiding taxes and they're looking for another tax break. The IRS is set to pull in like $500 billion less this year because Elon Musk is gutting everything. And our taxes aren't even helping us. Just watch the Democracy Conference video you put up. Makes a lot of sense. CJ, are you talking about the Democracy Now! With Naomi Klein? I put a link in the description. Naomi Klein, one of my favorite authors. She wrote The Shock Doctrine. She has a few other books that I've not got to tackle yet because The Shock Doctrine is heavy reading. But Naomi Klein did a interview with Democracy Now! Democracy Now!, great, publicly funded, amazing. It's the only news source I trust. that I'll kind of watch. I still really don't watch much news, but Democracy Now! Is one of them. And they had Naomi Klein, who talks about disaster capitalism and tyrants and what's going on right now. And if you look back through history, you see a lot of similarities, but then you see some new things happening. And I highly encourage you. I linked it in the description. I think I shared it in my community. Watch this interview with Naomi Klein. Great insights. But even if you're just one of these founding fathers people, where you're like, I believe in the founding fathers, the Constitution, Declaration of Independence, and you wear a cape that's the American flag and a Speedo that's the American flag and American flag socks on the 4th of July, then read the Declaration of Independence. Because what Donald, I refuse to call him Trump, Donald, because that is the dumbest name, Donald. What Donald is doing is cut off trade with the world, impose taxes without our consent, deprived us of the benefits of trial by jury. He's removed due process, and he's transporting U.S. citizens beyond sea, or transporting us beyond sea to be tried for pretend offenses. He said he wants to transport U.S. citizens. He's already transported people who are supposed to be here. And if you read the Declaration of Independence, they even talk about migration and how the king was trying to interrupt it from people migrating here. This is all things that Donald is doing, and it's in the Declaration of Independence. So you can't say you're for America and support Donald, that duck. Jesus, Grasshopper. That's some decent trolling, Grasshopper. Decent troll, a decent trolling. So please, $1 billion is missing from Doge, Big Balls, and Elon's team. There's no accountability, no transparency. They're doing whatever they want, and we're going to pay the price. Rich people don't worry about it. There's even reports of Donald saying, who cares what the economy, what's going to happen with the economy? Who cares about the climate? He said, I'll be dead by then. Which, those are reports going around from insiders who hear him talk behind closed doors. If you know anything about this guy, you know he doesn't care. And, you know, there are other people who not only care about their future and their kids' future, but other people's future. And if you care, that's all I'm asking, is for people to care. And it's time to stand up and say, our taxes should be paying for our health care. No kid in this country should be denied any kind of treatment. If we have the cure, there shouldn't be a gatekeeper saying you need to pay this much money. You know, that's stupid. That's stupid. These are rules rich people made up, and we can reject them and say, no, we refuse. We refuse to play this game. We all came up with these cures together. Humanity has worked its entire existence to get to a point where Cuba has a vaccine for lung cancer. I mean, we all have these things for a reason, not so somebody could get rich off them. Oh, it's infuriating. There's some cool science link and a link about the Nintendo Switch. Apparently it's going to stay at $449, and the pre-orders are going to happen on the 24th. So I'm excited for people who play the Switch. I'm glad that nothing too much has been interrupted, but then again, let's wait and see. Let's wait and see. Hopefully, I'm seeing on websites saying this is the price before tariff costs, which I'm like, oh, the morons who voted for Trump thinking he cared about the economy or knew anything about the economy. This is a guy with four bankrupt casinos. You know, like, he doesn't know what he's doing. He's just the rich kid who was told your daddy's special boy, or who was never told your daddy's special boy and has a vengeance for everyone. So again, thanks, people who voted for him, because now every website says this is the cost before, this is the cost without tariffs considered. Price may change. And I'm getting emails like, oh, things you pre-ordered, the price may change. So awesome. But it's not too late. You can say, whoops, made a mistake. I voted for a rich Nepo baby who has no idea what he's doing, doesn't care about anybody, and just cares about his own wealth and doesn't even give a rip about the planet, doesn't care if that's destroyed. You can say, whoops, I was duped. And you can join up with the real patriots, the people who understand what's in the Declaration of Independence, who understand that if we have a grievance, we should be able to address that with our government. And if our government becomes tyrannical, like in the Declaration of Independence, we have a duty to do something about it. Now he's playing Lego with our country. Not even. That dude can't even Lego. Lego, my country-o. So yeah, so check out the Democracy Now! Video. Hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. I will be back tomorrow. I'm here every weekday. I also have a new video with Tony Robbins and Dean Graziosi. I went to their seminar, so you didn't have to. These people are just top tier grifters. It's amazing. And that's what I tried to do in this video. I tried to show you the things they say that with the right soundtrack and the right ambiance and the right mindset, with the right hypnosis, what they say, it might seem profound, but really they say the dumbest ever. So go watch my video with Tony Robbins and Dean Graziosi. I just retitled it. Tony Robbins and Dean Graziosi say the dumbest ish ever. So go watch that. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for hitting subscribe, hit the notification bell so you can join me when I do go live. And remember, I want people to be reading the Declaration of Independence. See what similarities are happening now. We need to be educated. You need to be informed. Let's do a service to each other. Let's stand together. Let's say our taxes should be providing our health care in this country. We can do it. I believe we can. We can change things. We just got to come together. There's only one war. They want you to focus on a culture war. There isn't. It's a class war, and that's it. What happens when the rich people buy up all the assets? They have so much money. They have so much money they can't even spend it. Spending $270 million on an election, and it's not even a drop in the bucket. That means trouble for all of us, not just the people you don't like. So I want people to think about that. CJ, good to see you. Alyssa, hope you're recovering. Grasshopper Plus, thanks for the trolling. And much love and respect.